Brilliance Audio.
Call the Canaries Home by Laura Barrow. Performed by Amy Bentley, Sophie Amos, Janet Metzger, and Ariel Delisle.
After arriving at the airport, I Ubered to Rayanne's house, which was nestled in a gated community of an affluent Baton Rouge suburb. Muscadine was only a 2-hour drive northwest from her place and didn't have an airport. For that matter, Muscadine didn't have much of anything. When I texted Rayanne that I was flying into her city, she offered to drive. Of course, it had taken her a full 24 hours to comment on this information, and I knew she had seen it, because the word red was clearly spelled out next to my message as it hung there awkwardly between us for an entire day. As soon as we pulled into a driveway lined with grass the color of astroturf and lilac hydrangea bushes that could have graced the cover of Southern Living, my stomach soured. The 2-story gray stone house sat nestled atop a lush green hill and boasted a 3-car garage, which I knew from Instagram housed a Tesla, a Lexus, and a boat. I also knew that Rayanne would be about as excited to make this trip as I was. Probably less. After all, at least I didn't have children to worry about while I went wandering down memory lane in our decidedly rural hometown. I thanked the driver and made my way up the stone path to the front door. After a steadying breath, I knocked tentatively and rearranged my face into something I hoped resembled excitement. After the door swung open, apparently of its own volition, it took me a moment to look down and recognize it wasn't a ghost who had answered, but a bare-chested, smaller version of my brother-in-law, Graham. 2 trails of green escaped from Tucker's nostrils, dripping precariously close to his gaping mouth. "Who are you?" he asked, dragging the back of his arm across his nose. I swallowed hard, trying to ignore what I'd just witnessed. I'd met Tucker only once, a few weeks after his birth, the last time I'd been here. He was the first newborn I'd ever held, and quite frankly, I was a bit underwhelmed by the experience. Rayanne couldn't stop going on about his tiny toes and fingernails, his miniature shoes, and that new baby smell. But the only smell I could make out had brought on an intense bout of nausea, and honestly, I found the whole tiny hands business to be a little terrifying. "I'm your Aunt Sue Ellen." I smiled and squatted down to face him squarely, careful not to touch his arm glistening with fresh streaks of green. "You are?" He crinkled his nose and regarded me dubiously. "Mommy says Sue Ellen is a ditch." Chuckling to myself, I patted the top of his head. I wasn't surprised by the sentiment, but the cussing threw me for a loop. Maybe Rayanne was not as perfect as her Instagram page would have me believe. "Tucker!" As if on cue, my sister hurried toward us, carrying a babbling Charlotte in her arms, and snatched his hand as if he had approached a stranger, which I suppose wasn't entirely untrue. "How many times have I told you not to answer the door? You're naked, for Pete's sake. Go get dressed." He let out a blood-curdling, "No, stupid head!" before twisting himself out of her grasp and escaping through her legs into the kitchen like a feral animal. Rayanne's eyes rested on mine, and for a moment the two of us just stared at one another, as if we'd been caught unawares. Even saddled with 2 children, she looked just as beautiful as she always had, with crystal blue eyes and a messy blonde ponytail that might have made another woman look tired. On her, it was perfectly on point. Finally, she cleared her throat and gave me a defeated smile. "Sorry about that. Normally we do make him wear clothes. How was your flight?" "Fine." I tucked my thumbs into the pockets of my tapered cropped pants. "Your house is a lot," I said,